Hey guys, today I'm going to be following up on our request from Superfly344, and he asked what airsoft guns would be good in different situations, and that's what I'm going to be setting out to talk about today. So we'll start off with spring pistols. These are really only good for close quarters, and even then they're not optimal. I'd say they're more for beginner or casual airsofters. They don't hold a lot of ammo and they can't shoot very far, so they're not good in multiple situations. They're really only good at super close range. So I'd say you'd see these most often in backyard airsoft wars, and maybe even CQB combat if this is all you've got. Next up is the spring airsoft shotgun, which is another CQB weapon. These typically have short to medium ranges, which makes them really good for CQB arenas or 4-to-4 battles. I can see them being used in both defense and offense. They start to lack at longer ranges though. They're really only good for close quarters. And the really nice thing about some of them is that they can get pretty small. And with this you can pack a decent amount of firepower and still be able to crouch behind things and get up from out behind them. It takes less time because you're not having to deal with a really long rifle. Speaking of really long rifles, we can talk about spring airsoft rifles. In this case in particular, we'll talk about spring sniper rifles. And these are really good at long distances. They function really well if you're having to defend a certain objective. This way you'll be able to shoot the enemy before they even get close to you. In some cases they can lack a little bit on the offensive. If you get into a close quarter situation, oftentimes a sniper rifle isn't going to be your best bet. Oftentimes if you're going to be running one of these, you're going to want a sidearm with a higher rate of fire. But if we want to talk about some common situations you might find one of these used in, snipers generally want to stay out of the main combat zone. You'll probably be further away from the action, you'll be picking people off at a distance. They're called snipers for a reason. Moving on to Aegis, they're all around really good multi-purpose guns. What sets an AEG apart from the other guns we've talked about today though is that they have a really high rate of fire, so these would be good in any situation that would require that, and frankly that's a lot of situations. These are really good for assault. If you want to try and keep an enemy pinned down behind a bunker, you can just go full auto, and that's made possible by their ammo carrying capacity, which is significantly higher than the other guns we've talked about today, which is something you should probably be familiar with. There actually isn't really a situation where I think these would be bad in except for super close quarters combat if you have a high powered AEG. You still can use AEGs for certain CQB arenas, but there's other ones that may run just a little bit too hot for them. Overall though, just really good multi-purpose gun. You can find them in just about any situation. Moving on to the last gun type I have here today to show you. This is going to be CO2 or gas pistols, in this case CO2. These function really well as sidearms because they have a good rate of fire. They're specifically better than spring pistols because of this. Then again, just about everything's better than a spring pistol. If you're in a combat situation and you're being attacked and you run out of ammo in your primary weapon, this is a good backup to have because it has semi-automatic capability. And this way you'd be able to defend yourself for a little bit while you're reloaded. They don't have terribly high ammo carrying capacity. You can get extended mags on some of them, but in this case this one holds only 15 rounds. You could get a second clip for it. But typically you're just going to see these as a failsafe. If you run out of ammo, they're a good thing to have at your side. And in terms of when they'll be used, it's probably only CQB. They have really good firepower, but kind of lack in range when compared to some other guns. And like I said, you're probably just going to be using these when you run out of ammo in your primary. And in that situation, I assume you're being attacked pretty close up, so you'd want to switch to this. That's going to conclude things here with this video. I know that this was a super quick rundown, and I also know we covered some fairly basic stuff, but I hope that some of you may, if you're starting out airsoft, learn something new. To me, if even just one person benefits from this, then that'll make this video worth it. I know a large majority of my audience already knows most of the stuff we covered today, so I hope that those of you under this category just bear with me. There are some people just starting out that could use information like this, or at least I would hope. But I think I'm going to call it on this video, guys. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll have some more videos coming up soon. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video.